Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcomes you to my series that is ebook of radiography, covering different radiological projections and telling what are the anatomical structures, what are the indications, how they are to be taken, how to know that they are correct, how to correct them if at all it has gone wrong in either angulation or otherwise, how to correct them by knowing them. So also what are the clinical indications in all these series we'll be seeing in detail. This is a handbook, so the topics are covered only what is required for the technologists as well as those who are doing medical imaging and those who are indulged in radiography. So this topic is regarding skull, mandible and O.P.G. Mandible is a part of skull. So it is the mandible which we are going to give in this lecture. The skull projections are covered in some other lecture. Now about disclosures. This lecture or this series is meant for doctor and those who are interested in knowing the radiography. That is mainly the technicians, technologists and medical imaging technology boys. For them the lecture is designed. It is designed for getting a rough idea. As far as radiography is concerned, there are no fixed angulations. We should know the anatomy, we should know the clinical indication and we should modify it accordingly. So a brief idea about the anatomy as well as radiographic lines, views are required. Since we are converting a three-dimensional technology, three-dimensional views, three-dimensional anatomical structures into a single plane. So it is important to understand in depth the anatomical structure. So also in a way how the radiographs are taken. Now radiography is a radiation modality. A care has to be taken to minimize the effect of radiation, and the patient's care, attendant's care and the care of the staff working over there is taken by the technologist. But it is also important to follow the instructions written on the board, on the department and whatever has been told by the technicians. The technicians are also following LRA principle to give patient a minimum possible radiation. They are also taking care that certain parts of the patient can be covered if they are not of radiological or radiographical interest. So that portion is covered and protected. Now strict discipline therefore and precaution is must, since it's a radiation field. Those who should enter, those should not enter, what are the indication, contraindication, all are covered in different lectures. And the designing of radiography department, how the patients are protected outside, inside, everything is extensively covered in some different lectures. In this lecture we are concentrating only on radiography. Now strictly a radiographer is following principles of radiation protection, that is the distances, inverse square law. Something like if you are away from the radiation, not only by doubling the distance radiation falls to half, but it falls to 1/4. So it is inverse square law which governs the radiation. Then speed and exposure timings, that is how much long you are exposing patient to a certain X-ray. We increase the MA so that MAS remains constant and the exposure timing is reduced so that same effectiveness, same clarity, same quality can be achieved with reduction in radiation dose. Now what is the barrier and shielding is meant for the technologists who are taking the radiographs. So also we protect patients certain parts, areas which are not going to be required for the study required. Now there are certain planes of radiography like anthropological plane, then there is a orbitomeatal plane and there is also a intrapupillary line or plane. Now these are required for proper radiographing AP and lateral projections which are shown below. Obliques, tangential are as per requirement, but here mainly we are specifying are the AP and lateral planes, and these are the sagittal, then axial and coronary planes. Mandible is a part of skull. It has got TM joint but its projections are totally different than that of the skull. it has got its own specialized views, and the views are separate because the mandible has got multiple turnings, multiple thickness of the bone, as well as it has got a joint, TM joint, which is totally different than other joints, which has got a movement like anterior sliding. Therefore, the projection of mandible or radiography mandible by itself is a real challenge for the radiographers. Now, what is the indication for mandible pathologies? One is traumatic patients, suspected pathology of the mandible like inflammatory, dental abscess, osteomyelitis, cyst of dental origin, and for assessment of contagious spread of adjacent bony or soft tissue neoplasm. Then, how to prepare the patient? Patients are prepared with the denture should be removed so that the facial jewelry, ear earrings, and anything from the hair can be removed. Then the patient should be asked to open the mouth as wide as possible. Now this is given to the patient training before opening, before taking to the table, how to open the mouth, how to keep it open, and how to, whether it is possible for the patient or not. Because if the mouth cannot be opened widely, if the radiographs are not possible, then we'll have to go for the alternative. That may be a O.P.G or maybe a 3D CT. But radiographs are sometimes possible or may not be possible because it needs patient cooperation as well as the position of the patient. Then what we tell patient, he should be able to follow. Another thing is patient's position, that we make the line, that is the line from the corner of the eye to the opening of the ear perpendicular. So in that position patient should lie down, otherwise again we'll have problem in getting a proper radiograph. So sometime before taking a radiograph we need to consulate patient, and also we have to see that whether patient is capable of doing it. Now in this patient, how the patient is, the ray directs in such a way that the non-affected side or normal side is anterior. In other words, you ask patient to make his side close to the cassette which has got a pathology. So the lateral view, the ray is side to side. So whether to right side or left side, that will depend on the pathology. If patient's pathological side is right, the right side touches the cassette and the central ray is centered on the left side over the area of mandible, that is TM joint or just little below it depending on the pathology. The anterior portion of the mandible is the center what we make. Angulation 0 usually here, and it is the distance is 100 centimeter. Film size is 10 by 12 and the bucky is sometimes used or sometimes it may not be used. Then lateral view, in these patients, patient sits facing the bucky and the head is then rotated in such a way that mid-sagittal plane is parallel to the bucky and their orbital line is perpendicular to it. The position of the cassette is then transversely in the erect bucky in such a way that the upper border is 5 cm above the vertex of the skull. Now here is the mandible given in the diagrammatic view. Now see how practically we take it. Now patient is in prone position with his affected side or side we want is touching the cassette. Now proper instructions are given to the patient. If he has got any complaints, that is heard. If patient can give this position or not is again rechecked. So that is the way we check this. Now the angle is made over the TM joint. Patient's affected side is towards the. Now see, we are seeing the comfort of patient. If right side is up, right side is down, then patient rotation may not be complete. So we ask patient to keep his one hand down and one hand resting over the table so that he can be fixed. Now the light is put off just to see the collimator light. Collimator light gives us a fair idea. The light we are seeing from the cassette is because it's a DR cassette. Now this is the way patient is positioned, and then we can take the exposure. For this X-ray we do not need putting off the light or we do not need any darkness. Darkness is given or shown just to see that collimation is done properly. So once you collimate him properly, yes, then we can go for an X-ray. A good quality X-ray will come. Now we are showing you two mandible lateral. One is a soft tissue mandible. and second you have the normal mandible lateral. What you are seeing is a TM joint, then you are seeing is a neck of the mandible. These are best seen in this lateral. Then you are also seeing the molar region, that is first, second and third molar, and then you are seeing a submandibular region. So soft tissue exposure are taken when you are suspected submandibular pathology. Otherwise, if bony pathology is suspected, then you go for just straight lateral view. Now we will see in this mandible PA. Why we don't take mandible AP? Because mandible is the anterior structure, and the thumb rule or basic principle of radiology is the part which is pathological, the part which we want to radiograph has to be close to the cassette. So that is a basic principle of radiography. So here we make patient prone and we see that mandible touches the table. Now what are the indications for chest PA? That is the traumatic patient, suspected pathology of mandible like inflammatory dental abscesses, molar regions, then impacted third molar, cyst of the dental origin, then assessment of the contiguous period of adjacent bony or soft tissue neoplasms. Then what is the preparation of patient is usually radio opaque articles, ornaments, then which can cause artifact on clothing are removed. The denture should be removed so that facial jewelry, then earrings and anything from the hair which can cause artifacts. The patient should be asked to open mouth as much as possible when we are going for the mandible condyle, because that gives the mandible condyle in the best possible ways. Otherwise it will be short and it will not be seen properly. So in that view, patient is sitting, should be asked to open mouth, then line from the corner of the eye to open of the ear should be perpendicular, distance should be 100, film size 10 by 12 and Bucky is usually used. Now radiography can be done with a routine conventional radiography, CR, or there are dental units which has got capacity to do lateral projections, because dental people also need lateral cephalogram for their study purpose. Now this is a diagrammatic presentation, how we take it. Now let's see. This is mandible PA which we are taking. Patient is in prone position. You have to check the distance is 100 centimeter. Then patient lies down in such a way that the forehead and nose touches the imaging plate, because it's a DR system which we are using here or demonstrating here. Then we have to see patient that there is no rotation sidewise. So perfect. Patient is not rotated. Then the orbitofmetal line is perpendicular. The central ray is angled or such a way there is no angulation. So central ray is directed that it will cross through the mandible. Distance 100 centimeter again rechecked. Tube centering is again rechecked. Here we center the tube to the center of the CR plate. So that is the way it should be done. Once the collimator is on, distance is correct, it is verified again, angulation is checked again, and now we are ready for the exposure. Now see, the distance needs to be 100 centimeter. From that now it is less. Let's correct it to 100 centimeter. Distance from tabletop. Yes, correct. So now it will come to 100 centimeters. So it's a correct. So we can go for the exposure. The distance 100 centimeter. The orbitofmetal line perpendicular. Cassette 10 by 12 or imaging plate, whichever size you got, or if it is CR, it is 10 by 12 or 14 by 17. That is how you have to put patient position and you have to take the radiograph. Now, sometime we need a vertical. Now let us see how to take a vertical. Is made correct. Then cassette, it is 14 by 17 cassette with the side marker to the left side. You mark right side or left side depending on the side you want. And now this will be a PA for the mandible. Look at the center, it is at the mandible. Proper instruction to the patient are given. Patient should not move. Now we are seeing two radiographs. Here we are seeing mandible, condyle. But if you want to go for the condyle and the ramus, then you will have to go with angulation, that is the Calvil's method. That gives you these two structures better. This was just a PA showing you the proper arrangements of the mandible and condyles. But the best way for TM joint you have to take for the oblique. Then if it is for the condyles, then you will have to go for a Calvil's method where you give angulation and see that the neck of the mandible and condyle of the mandible, they come in proper way. Now third view for the mandible is the mandible oblique. Now what are the indications for mandible oblique? They are suspected pathology of the mandible like inflammatory, dental abscess, osteomyelitis, cyst of dental origin, assessment of contiguous spread of adjacent bony or soft tissue neoplasm, then any suspected pathology of the mandible. You will have to go for either a oblique or a PA or a AP projection. However, the best for the mandible are the O.P.Gs, which you are going to cover at the end of this lecture. So depending on the indication, depending on the availability of center, you select the modality. Now patient has to prepare with removal of jewelry, then earrings, everything from the hairs, then opening of mouth needs to be checked for open or close. Sometimes we have to open, sometimes we have to close, but all these things has to be seen before. Now it is important to know what is the angulation given to the patient. Now here we are going to show you what is the maximum angulation that is possible, but sometimes when patients we are making in a position, the angulation may not be achieved at the expected 30 degrees. So here right or left 30 degrees angulation is maximum, but sometimes it is not possible because shoulder is superimposing. We'll see it a practical problem when we'll be seeing the radiography. Now the beam makes 30 degrees angulation, the angulation can be up to 30 degrees, but again it depends on what is the position of the patient. We'll see it when we'll come to the diagram proper. Now here is the oblique projections what we are taking. Now see here, the angulation here is around 25 to 30 degrees. However, sometimes it is not possible. So what we do is we give angulation less than 30 degrees. So here we are given angulation around 10 to 15 degrees. So mandible, oblique and angulations do not have a mathematics. You will have to first check whether patient can extend his neck. Second thing, we have to see that whether patient can turn to the one side. And when patient turns, what should be the patient's shoulder position? If the shoulder is coming in the way, you cannot give 30 degrees angulation. Then angulation has to be less than that. So it depends entirely on type of patients. You can give angulation up to 30 degrees, but sometimes it is not possible. But see what happens is, when you give 30 degrees angulation, you get excellently third molar region as well as first molar and premolar region. However, if the angulation is not given properly, you can get only the second and third molar, but premolar region and all things will not come in the picture. So this is one of a drawback when we will not be able to give angulation. And this especially occurs when patient has got short neck or whether patient has got a cervical spine problem. Now let us see how it is taken on radiography table. So first is angulation. See, now which day need to give angulation? So you have to go other way. If patient is prone, now see how to you have to make the patient prone on lies in such a way that his affected side touches the screen or touches the table. Here we are using CR as a modality. If you are using DR, then the cassette or that is the imaging plate comes directly in place of the Bucky. Now here we are using Bucky because we have described it in our description chart. Now here the angulation is given. Now what important here to watch is the shoulder position. If the shoulder position cannot be down, then you cannot give angulation like 30 degrees. Here maximum you can give is a 20 to 25. For that you have to pull shoulder down or you'll have to extend the neck. Now these maneuvers can be done only when patient is a bit cooperative or patient has got no traumatic or any painful conditions. In that way only you can go for these angulations. Otherwise angulation more than 20 degrees are practically really difficult, but you can achieve it if patients are cooperative and if the shoulder can be pulled down properly. So pulling the shoulder down, extending the neck, and check what angle you can give. Sometimes you can give more angle, sometimes you have to compromise with the less angle. And I have shown you both the pictures what exactly happen when the angle is reduced. But again, the best remedy for that is the O.P.G, which can give it in the best possible way. Now Calwell projection, now I'll show you the advantages over the PA. Routine PA and Calwell are two totally different. In Calwell you give angulation, and that angulation is given for the neck of the mandible. Now we'll see once we're going in the details of this view. Now indications are to obtain a clear view of frontal and ethmoid sinuses. So sinus pathology is best seen in Calwell. Therefore, use of evaluation of their inflammatory or neoplastic pathologies. So also for nasal turbinate, nasal septum pathologies, this is the best view. In this patient is sitting or prone, it is PA. So it is sitting or prone position, touching the nose and forehead for the cassette. And check for the rotation. Patient should not be rotated, otherwise it will come distorted. The ray should exit through the glabella or nassion. Then the angulation, no angulation or sometime up to 10 degree is given. Distance is 100 centimeter. If you give no angulation, it becomes PA. If you give up to 10, it becomes Calwell projection. So depending on that, depending on the indication, depending on patient's comfort, you have to give these angulations. Then what are the practical point of interest? Patient's head is adjusted so that the sagittal plane is perfectly perpendicular to the tabletop. The cantho-ethmoidal line, outer canthus to the eye, to the tragus of the ear or external acoustic meatus should be perpendicular to the plane of film. Also, it may be necessary to support the patient's chin on the either his first or on a folded towel. So that is done when the patient has got neck problem, neck stiffness, or when patient cannot give a proper angulation, or it should be 90 degrees angulation to the table, it should be correct. The central ray is centered to the glabella and angled towards the feet, approximately 15 degrees. So 15 degrees caudal angulation is done to the canthomeatal line in Calwell's projection. Now, here the position is same as that of the occipitofrontal view, that is the PA. X-ray directed perpendicular to the bucci along the median sagittal plane. The tube is rotated to 15 degrees caudal to the orbitomeatal line. So in Calwell we give 15 degrees angulation, which do not give in PA. Now by giving 15 degrees angulation, as far as frontal sinuses is concerned, there is not much difference. But as far as mandible, condyle and neck is concerned, there will be tremendous difference. And as far as body of mandible is concerned, it will become slightly distorted. So here now, the right side is Calwell, and this is a Calwell projection in which see the neck of the mandible and body of the mandible. Body of the mandible is distorted while the neck region is better seen. So best for the evaluation of the fractures in this region. While this is a PA where you can see that only the body of the mandible is well projected, it is not distorted. However, the condyles are not seen. One of the major indication here is one thing is frontal sinus, nasal cavity, turbinate, and that also the condyles of the mandible. So this is the main indication for this view. And if you do not achieve the angle, like it starts seeing like PA, then you increase the angle. Sometimes it happens that you are giving 15 degrees angulation, but the X-ray come in the way I have shown you. In that condition, you will have to increase the angulation from 15 degrees. Always it is said that radiography has got no fixed angle. You will have to see the film and you might have to modify it. We have seen mandible, AP, oblique and PA. Now let's see O.P.G. Personally, we are of the opinion that the mandible is best imaged by O.P.G. Maybe because it shows all the parts of the mandible. Not only that, it can give you a good idea about the TM joints, since O.P.G. can give you a open and closed mouth views of the TM joints, free of cervical spine and free of superimposition by other bones. So it is one of the best and the preferred modality of choice for any of the dental or TM joint pathologies. However, though compromise, conventional radiography can be used. However, we are of the opinion mandibular pathology, O.P.G is just indispensable. So it is used for all the dental pathologies, then it is used for the orthodontist workup, then for the cyst of dental origin, then fractures of the mandible. So in short, all the indications of mandible, all the pathologies of mandible, the O.P.G is a first investigation of choice. Now here only we have to position is a canthomeatal line. It should be parallel to the floor. Other lines are not there, other these things are not. Then we are going to see a video of how the O.P.G machine operates. It has got a fixed central ray, so you cannot modify it. It goes from tube to the slit and then it gives the sections. Then second is the angulation. There is no angulation provided in the machine. Then object to film distance is fixed. It has got two drums. One thing is of the tube and second is of the film. Now details of the O.P.G, how is the physics, what are the methods and how it works is differently projected. There is a different video made for this and the film size is 12 by inches, but it is depending on the cassette which you are fixing in a device. Now this is O.P.G machine, a diagrammatic presentation, and we'll see the video now how a O.P.G machine is operated. Now it has got two sides. One side is there is a tube and second side there is a cassette. Now this is a cassette holder which takes a cassette of 10 by 12. Now this is a digital machine, so now see it will get resetted. Now once we press the button, because it has to make a rotation of 360 degrees, so it is over correction. So first machine has gone to the 0 position, then the cassette has taken its place and the exposure has started. You can see the slit through which the exposure produced by the tube gets into the film, and while rotating it projects on the mandible and you will get a full view of a mandible. There is over correction from either side so that a full view of mandible is achieved. Now cassette is coming back to the position, machine is coming back to the position, and then only you can remove the cassette. So all these things are essential for getting a O.P.G. Now details of the physics, details of the mechanism, details of how it produces images free of cervical spine are covered in a different lecture and on different videos extensively. Now the cassette which has come out goes to the reader. Now here are the radiographs of the O.P.G. The excellent anatomy of the jaw, excellent mapping of the tooth is achieved by O.P.G. Both TM joints are seen here and you can see all the tooth, then you can see all the pathologies of the tooth, root of the tooth. It is best for the mandible, but sometimes it does to some extent suffices for the hard palate, but it is usually designed to detect pathologies of the mandible. Now these are the TM joints. You can see open mouth and closed mouth views. Here in a single shot you get open mouth and with another one you get the closed mouth. So you can achieve the radiographs. Patient is radiated only for TM joints. It is not radiated for entire mandible. So advantages, only TM joint comes, open and close are possible. Third is entire mandible is never exposed to radiation. So it is radiation saving. Though we are taking 4 radiographs, there is no 4-time radiation. It is only as much as a single time rotation. So it's excellent as far as TM joints are concerned because it gives you a cervical spine free TM joints. There is no overlapping of cervical spine, one, and second, most important, a dynamic positions of the TM joint condyle are possible in this view. So we have seen imaging of the mandible by conventional radiography. With this we are coming to end of the lecture. I have given you idea about the radiographic projections. I have given you idea about the O.P.Gs also. I have also suggested that those who are interested can go to our original articles, research articles on the mandibular diseases. So also the mandibular technology, how a image is produced by help of two rotating devices, that is given in the lecture over the TM joint, over the mandible, by me only on some different videos that will clear your ideas how is the physics which works behind it. And with that we are coming to end of our lecture, and I thank you for giving me your valuable and precious time. Please note that radiology is not a race, but it's a process. Be a part of this process and enjoy the feast of knowledge. Maybe you are a technologist, maybe you are a student, maybe you are a resident of radiology. You must know these basics, because if you want to interpret, if you want to report properly, you should have a proper X-ray, and you must know the physiology, the physics behind it. So also you should know the anatomical structures and radiology planes also. Here certain important things like physiology can also be reported, or they can also be imaged by the radiography, like we have seen on TM joint, the opening and closing of the TM joint functioning. We can see in barium also that there is physiology, lot of things are revealed by the radiology. So all these things need to be known if we want to interpret radiological reports properly. This radiographic presentation was prepared in the BLD deemed to be University Medical College, Sri B.M. Patil Medical College Hospital and Research Center, Vijayapur. I acknowledge with thanks to all my friends. Then I also thank. With that we are coming to end of my lecture. I acknowledge with thanks and gratitude my mentors, that is the management, BLDE deemed to be University, Sri B.M. Patil Medical College Hospital and Research Center, Vijayapur. All the videos are prepared in this medical college with the help of staff of radiology department. They have actively participated in preparation of this film. So also IT and photography department of our college. I sincerely thank them, because without whom or without them I would not have been able to prepare this preparation for you. Thank you. Take care, do your best and do your best to the patient. Please note, a best radiograph is a basic of best interpretation to the patient, and that is the best way for a speedy recovery to the patient. Thank you.